Jay, we hear a lot about future church.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you? What does that mean in terms of our future at Brentwood Baptist?
Yeah, that's a great question, Betty, because, it can mean so many different things, right?
Yeah.
And as Mike has said often, future church got here in a hurry with COVID. As I said often, as a leader, COVID didn't change things as much as it accelerated or revealed things that were already existing. And so in a way, future churches got here maybe a little quicker than we expected in this sense. If you've paid attention to kind of how churches have operated and what was important by and large, using a wide view lens, we saw kind of the age of denominationalism when it's, what your affiliation was the most important. We saw an era in which it was the rise of kind of the seeker-sensitive movement, right? And what your outreach looked like and what your programs were when that dominated. But I think what we're really moving into an era now is an era in which the mission, we've already talked about, matters. But we have to look at everybody as a disciple who needs to multiply disciples, not dependent on programs, not dependent on institutions. In a way, we're preaching through the series of Acts, or through the book of Acts right now in our sermon series, and it's recovering some of those biblical principles, right? That everybody needs to know the word and share the word. Everybody needs to live on mission. Everybody needs to stay in step with the Holy Spirit, to go where he leads us. So I think in a way, that's the essence of future church. The way the one author has described future church is that it's a church that understands the best of where we've been. So think of a two-story house. On the bottom story, you have what naturally draws people to church. You have the place. You have the personality of the pastor or the leadership team. You have the people. Do my friends go there? Are there people there I can relate to? You have the programs. And those things are still, by and large, going to be drawing people into church, just like people walk into the bottom story of a house. But the churches that will succeed in the future in fulfilling their mission are churches that walk people up to what we would call the second story of that house. That's to understand the mission and vision of the church. It's to understand their role as disciple makers. And I think that the church really, the future really belongs to the churches that are able to do both of those things effectively, and understanding their relationship together, and churches that send. Again, the future belongs in many ways to churches that are faithful. And I think God blesses those churches that say, hey, we're here to raise up disciples and to send them out on mission with Jesus.
So it's people.
Absolutely.
It's people being the church.
Yeah. I say this all the time, Betty. We have a great church. And I qualify that because I say it's not our facilities, which are fantastic. It's not our programs, which are good. It's not just our staff, who's world class. But we have a great church, meaning God has entrusted to Brentwood Baptist Church and all her campuses some of the most incredible people. And I think if we can mobilize all of those people and all of those gifts for the kingdom, right? What a difference it could make.
Moves,
It does.
Yeah.